This next puzzle will have 2 polyominoes and 2 stars. You should be pretty familiar with these if you've completed the game. They're really just a slightly easier version of one of the 2 random doors near the end. Think about the shapes first. The stars will help narrow down a solution, but they're not really worth thinking too much about until you think of some ways you can arrange the shapes. Several options here to consider. The most common occurrence is that both polys are contained within the same area. There are a few possibilities when this happens. One, you can arrange the shapes as they appear on the panel. In other words, each symbol is contained by its own shape's position in the solution you draw. 2, the opposite is true, and the symbols' positions in the solution are swapped. Sort of like this quarry entrance puzzle. This is usually pretty counterintuitive, but don't hesitate to think about this solution if you're stuck. And 3, both symbols can be contained by only one of the shapes, and the other shape is appended adjacently. You can usually determine if this is possible pretty easily by just thinking about the shapes you're dealing with and whether a single one can contain both shapes while leaving room for the second shape on the panel. There are also a couple of rare cases where the polys aren't contained in the same area. The shapes may be separate, like in this puzzle. In even more rare cases, they may be touching without even being within the same area. For all of these cases, consider both the clockwise solution and the counterclockwise solution, as you may have with panel number 3. All things considered, there are a ton of different things that can happen in this panel, but I find this panel type has the most noticeable repeating patterns. If you do a lot of practice, you'll start to notice repeating solutions, or at least very close to that. And then it becomes less about solving them from scratch and more about slightly modifying solutions you already have in your head.